Here we are for the next book in the Lunar Chronicles, so this is Scarlet. Now, this one is a continuation of the previous book, so if you haven't read the first book, Cinder, you should read that because it will contain spoilers for book one. So this book is the one that I had read like a fourth-ish, maybe half at a time, and then I've lost it twice. So I finally actually got to finish the book this time. And I must say, this time reading through, I didn't mind the point of view switch as much. So the first time I read this, I was like, I don't care. I don't care about Scarlet. I want to know what's going on with Cinder in the jail and breaking out situation. I don't care about some farmer in France. However, this time reading through it, I actually did care. So the premise of this book is we have Scarlet's story and Cinder's story. So Cinder has some chapters, you know, obviously she's trying to break out of prison, so that's her quest of what she's working on. And Scarlet, her grandmother, is missing. And then she comes across this guy Wolf, who is an interesting character to say the least. And then that's where her story's going. She's looking for her grandma, and she has this guy named Wolf that's kind of involved. Other than that, it kind of falls into the spoiler category, which we'll save for a little bit. This book is another 5 out of 5 for me. I absolutely loved this book, and I was like maybe like this far into the book, and then I read the rest of it yesterday. It's one of those where the story and the characters are just so interesting, and I didn't see the plot twists coming this time. And that honestly makes for a fun book too, because there's the anticipation of knowing what's gonna happen and like waiting for that plot twist you know was gonna come, and then also being blindsided because you did not actually see that one coming. And again, the way the characters are written, they're all so much fun, and seeing them interact and the personalities clashing, it's such a good time. So this is one of those that, again, if you're trying to get back into reading, this series is phenomenal. Now onto the spoilers. I did not see the plot twist coming for this book. I really should have. Looking back, duh. But like, I just kept thinking, is there really gonna be werewolves? Really? Like, I don't know where my brain was. I don't know why I didn't connect that dot. I don't know what I was expecting Wolf to be, but I did not actually put 2 and 2 together until Scarlet figured it out, that they aren't actually werewolves that are existing in this weird planet. No, actually it is the monsters created from Lunar, earlier prototypes that are sent trying to find the princess. Should have seen that coming, really didn't, and I was reading that and I was sitting on the couch and my family kept trying to talk to me. It's like, shut up! I love you, but not right now, because I need to know what happens. And I love how she is a 4th Lunar. I think that really is going to be interesting of like how she can be influenced, and like, is she gonna have powers like Lunars do? At what point is it like too diluted to have those powers? Like, if her grandma is human and her grandpa was a Lunar, did the son have some? And like, does it only pass certain times? Like, genetically, how is that gonna work out? Like, can it skip generations? Do you have to be like full blood to have that power? Like, it's gonna be fun to see how Cinder gets to play along with that when she gets to interact with Scarlet and be like, so like, I'm kind of like the princess. And that was the other fun part, was when Cinder came in and Scarlet chilling at her, like, you could have saved us. And she's like, actually, I was in like jail and I found out like a few days ago, so not really. And like, it's just, their interactions are so much fun, and I loved the Captain Thorn. He's a hoot. At first I wasn't sure if I was gonna like him, if he was gonna be like that dude, but like, he grows on you. And Christine from Pull and Bananas books, I watched her review and she compared him to Jack Sparrow. Honestly, yeah. The entire time I was reading Scarlet, I was not picturing her the way the book describes her. I was totally picturing, I don't remember what her name is. I think she's Red from Once Upon a Time, that TV series. That actress is who I kept picturing the entire time. And I know that's not how she's described, but I don't care. She will forever be my Red Riding Hood character. And so it was, every once in a while, so they'd have a description of her, I'm like, sure, but no. Like, my brain just refused. I also loved that Ico, the helper robot dude of Cinder's, gets to become a ship. And how, like, it's a robot, and yet it's like one of my favorite characters, because she's so much fun. Like, she gets to be a ship and she feels self-conscious about being a ship. And then she saves Cinder. And it's like, your big ship is like massively like taking out people. And at the end where they're like, just leave Wolf. And I'm like, no, you can't leave. He has potential. He didn't have a choice. Like, I love the werewolf stories, so I'm always like, come on, man. So I love how they like bicker and then Cinder just finds a gun in the ship and just goes full farm on everybody. Like, that was so much fun. I should have seen the plot twist with Wolf. Like, the more you think about it, where like he didn't recognize like earth foods, like tomatoes and like carrots and stuff. And even on the ship as they're leaving, he's still like, this is different. Like, what do they eat on Luna? Or Lunar, or whatever. The planet. The moon. What do they eat? Because, like, if they came from Earth and they've just, like, evolved, but, like, what could grow on the moon? Wouldn't it be the same diet? And if not, like, what do they eat? There was just so many red flags of, like, you should have seen that coming, and I really didn't. But this book was so much fun. I didn't see the plot twist with the brother. I thought he was gonna be, like, the alpha of the group and, like, tracking him down. And then it was like, oh, whoops. Didn't get that one right. Like, this book was so much fun, and I feel so bad for the Emperor. Like, Kai is just having it out right now, and it's like, I wish Cinder could just talk to him and have like 5 minutes of a conversation, and I feel like it's gonna take till like the last book to get there, because plot, but I want them to talk, and I want him to know, and like, I don't know how he hasn't connected those dots yet, that the princess is Cinder, but also he's a dude and just lost his dad and is now an emperor, so like, I don't think he's working at full capacity, but I love how sassy he was to Cinder's stepmom and stepsister, and how like, even when he tries to give us addresses, he's still sassy. Like, he'll try to be diplomatic, and then like, he's still a teenager. Just eventually like kicks in with a couple comments. And it's just so much fun. And I feel so bad for him that now he's gonna marry the queen, because he's like, yep, we're not prepared. We're super not prepared. So I'm really excited to continue on with the series. And I have been separating these books so I don't immediately jump into the next one. I read something in between. And I think that's kind of helped for when you're like, but I just care about the other character. Because you aren't even in that world anymore. You go into something else and then you go back in. I think that's been very helpful. So I have another book that I'll be reading in between this and the next one, which is Cress. And then I think I'm gonna read it in the order Goodreads lists them, because it's like 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5. So I think we're gonna go in that order. So anyways, that is going to be it for this book talk for Scarlet. I would love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. I post every other day, and until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all soon.